What's going on, everybody? That's right, you didn't hear any intro song because, again, we're having uploading issues with our hosting site. And so this is the only way I can get it on. I can't upload it through the computer. This is the only way I can do it through the app. So the audio quality will be down a little bit, but it is working this way. So for the time being, there will be no intro song. I know you guys are dying without your Tupac. I get it. But welcome to this episode of Cheap Seats Box Show. Angelo here, my boy JP. JP, what's up, man?
Man, you know we're going to get into it. Let's do it.
First things first, you can follow us on Twitter at Cheap Seats Box, iTunes, rate and review. Also, iTunes listeners, for this episode, for every episode that we have to do it like this, don't worry how long the episode says it is. It's probably going to say, because we're going to do like 40 minutes or so, it's probably going to say like 28 minutes. It's probably going to say something like that. Don't worry about it. It's going to be 40-something minutes. So just let it play. It'll play. Everybody else, I don't know why it does it just on iTunes, but it does. So everybody else on every other platform, don't worry about it. It'll say exactly how long it is. Welcome to all the listeners, JP and
Zoom.
All right, so here it is. This is going to be the I Told You So episode because I told you so. And this is just what it was. Mikey Garcia absolutely obliterates Adrian Broner. This fight was never close. It was never in doubt. It went exactly as I thought. JP, what did you think, man?
I think Mikey handled his business like he said. He banked a bunch of rounds in a row. I think Adrian kind of fought the way his trajectory has been in recent history, just kind of let everything happen and then at the last minute try to show up and save it, and too little too late, way too late and way too little. Congratulations. I think I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. I think Lomachenko's diss was a little bit preempt, you know. And I also think, like, at the end of the day, for Mikey Garcia, keep doing what you're doing. Because what you're doing works and is winning. You got the demeanor to understand, like, why am I going to change this? To Adrian Broner, is it over for you? No, but you're going to start from ground zero. And if you continue to train and be focused to get back to where you want to be. But you're not going to have an easy road at all. You know, so... And the punch output is really where the fight stands. I mean, I saw Hank Lundy say that AB showed a chink in Mikey's armor with certain things, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, Mikey showed that Adrian can't fight going backwards, and he can't, even with his prior two losses, he doesn't fight and live in the moment. Because all you got to do is just, he won't realize he's 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds down. A normal fighter would get that, but he doesn't. So he showed a chink in those two things that everybody's going to expose. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Hammer Hank is full of fucking shit. Let's just be honest. Was there a chink in the armor? No. Was it a complete domination? Yeah. It was 11-1. 10-2 if you want to be nice.
I'm going to give him a 9-3 on the soft side.
The fact that two judges had it 8-4 is fucking ridiculous. The fix was in. If this fight was anywhere nearly competitive, where it was a real 8-4 fight, Broner gets a decision. That being said, I've heard a lot of boxers, and I'm going to come out and say a lot of black boxers talk shit kind of about how Mikey won the fight. Very basic. It was very just 1-2s, and all Adrian had to do was let go of his hands. You guys aren't that dumb. You guys know boxing. You know why he didn't let his hands go. He didn't let his hands go because
that's not his style.
And no, that he knows what would have been coming in return. And I don't know why that is. Why is it that when a guy like Mikey is that dominant, that it's almost like, yeah, but there was no buts. You know, you have guys like a lot of people. I saw so many before the fight and after the fight be almost dismissive of the dominance at which Mikey did it, to where it was like it was almost what Broner didn't do instead of what Mikey actually did do. And when you were talking about last week, what kind of credit was he going to get? I said somewhere in between the Maidana and Porter. And it's almost even less than both of them, even though it was the most dominant performance. And I guess because he never had that comeback. You know, he had one round where it was nice, 9. But he never had that comeback. If he let his hands go, he let his hands go in the last 4 rounds. He lost 3 of them. He won 1 of them. Translates to still a 9-3 fight. No matter how you look at it, there was nothing he could have done. And I tell you what, the one fighter who was the most honest about how it went, and we'll talk about Danny Jacobs, who actually said Broner won the fight. How you see that. And Paulie saying he didn't let his hands go and all this bullshit. And remember when me and Paulie was going back and forth, and he's like, let the professionals discuss it. This is why sometimes you don't let the professionals discuss it. Because you see things that really weren't there. That you see things that you want to see in the ring, rather than what actually is in the ring. The one guy I thought was the most honest about it was Robert Easter. And it's funny because Robert Easter is probably the closest to Adrian Broner than any of those other guys. And he gave them all, it was all credit. Like, hey, Mikey was better. And even said he would want to fight Mikey. You know, Mikey didn't mention him, but we know that that's definitely a possibility because of the Al Heyman PBC angles, Showtime, all that good stuff, all the stuff that lines up. I think it's a bad style matchup for Easter, even though I'm a big Easter guy, because the one thing you don't want to do is come forward on Mikey. If you come forward on Mikey, he's gonna light you up. And the one thing, even Easter said, he goes, no, I like coming forward. I like banging. I can only box for so long. That would be your downfall. And that you would trust me. You would be more competitive than your buddy. There's no doubt about that. You're going to be more competitive than your buddy. But let's give Mikey credit. He did exactly what he wanted to do. He controlled distance. He controlled the jab. He controlled output. Like when Floyd or a Crawford limits the output of the fighters, they get all credit for controlling the tempo of the fight. Mikey didn't get any credit. It was, he just didn't let his hands go. And it's almost like, because he's Mexican, it's almost like the tactician part, the stylistic part, gets diminished in a bit. Because that quote-unquote Mexican style is banger and not necessarily boxer. And I just don't think people wanted to see what was there. When a guy is outskilled, he's outskilled. It doesn't matter who it is and what it is. And that was the only thing that upset me. Because it's like, just be honest. It's cool. It's cool to be honest. When somebody's outclassed, somebody's outclassed. It's just the way it is. And I don't know why it is. Because even with, like, Lomachenko, they'll talk about levels, classes. But for whatever reason, the Mexican fighter is like, they don't get the credit. Like a guy like Marquez was never really fully given credit. Because they don't engage in the style of fighting that there is the stereotype.
It's a mixed bag on a lot of things. Like, if I'll be blunt about certain things, I would say, first and foremost, we as a people relate to the party. Mm-hmm. As far as, usually everybody is tribal. So no matter, when they're with their group, they say their group is better win, loss, or draw. And we kind of late to that party, but now we're getting to that tribal delusional shit. Like, fuck it, y'all. We know if we beat anybody else, we're not gonna get the credit, and the other fighters gonna be this and this and that. So we about to do the same shit. It probably throws people off because it's like, hey, y'all don't usually do that type of shit. It's like, well, it's par for the course now. Everybody in on it. Is it? I mean, it's something that we on both sides we're gonna have to get used to, because it's like, fuck it, It really doesn't matter what group you in, you gonna do it. So I think that's one unity thing that we becoming on the same page as. Fuck it, we are delusional. But as far as the Mikey part, it's kind of messed up because it's true. And that's why I say it's a mixed bag. Because there is a stereotypical Mexican style. And the thing about it is, on one end, it's the style that's loved, and on the other end, it's like, if you're good and you don't fight like that, we're going to still love you, but you're not as loved as the guy that... So it's a catch-22 for the guys who fit in that mold, And, on top of that, let's be just honest, completely honest. When we talking about boxing, people can't be honest. That's at the end of the day, no matter how you slice it, it's bullshit. Just like why I referenced the Lomachenko thing. I didn't see anything special. Well, maybe it's just because of the way I think and operate and how I look at things. One of my favorite athletes of all time was Curtis Martin. You didn't see anything special. He didn't wow people. But guess what? What was special is his ass got it done every week. No, I don't give a shit what happened. So that's why I like athletes like that. Mikey's like that, to be perfectly honest. Floyd's like that. It's one of the biggest reasons why I like him. You don't have to really see something special and go, wow, he did that. The motherfucker get the job done. And that is special in itself. How many people can consistently get the job done? That's the thing. Is Mikey going to get the credit? That's where it's kind of messed up. Because, is he going to get the credit Maidana got? No, because that was his first loss. Is he going to get the credit Porter got? No, because that was his second loss, and I don't know how to say this. Nobody gives Porter credit for anything he does. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a downward, he might get it up on one day and down on another day. But is beating Adrian Broner, I think that's the bigger issue. Is beating Adrian Broner a success? And I would say yes, because he's still a four division champion. No matter how you slice the record. I look at him like Miguel Cotto. I like Miguel Cotto. I fuck with Miguel Cotto. But when it comes to fighting top tier fighters, Miguel Cotto is not the best. He doesn't pan out the best. So that's where AB is at in a particular way. So, I say congratulations to him, but I will say this. Lomachenko, you ain't ready. I will tell you that.
No. The reason that I referenced that was not because he was picked against a lot by professional fighters. A lot of professional fighters picked Broner in this fight. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But when you have gotten the evidence in front of you afterwards, you have to admit what the evidence shows you. And it was just like, and it's not even like, the point was, I'm not even asking you to say, hey, Mikey is one of the best in the world. It's just like, look, he fucking dominated him. There was really nothing that Adrian Broner could have done. And I think that's the biggest thing, was there was nothing he could have done. If he'd have thrown more punches, he would have got beat up more. It would have been maybe a little bit more competitive, maybe, but also the beating probably would have been a little bit worse. It's like when I was saying this, though, when people were trying to say, oh, if Adrian Broner, if he boxes intelligently the whole fight, he's going to... No, he never had a chance. That was the whole point. And I never understood why people couldn't get that part. You're basically saying Adrian Broner is a better technician than Mikey Garcia. If that was, by their theory was, if he did it the right way for 12 rounds, he could... No, he couldn't. That was the whole point. The only thing he could have done was get a lucky shot and knock him out. That was it.
This is why I say his problem is he never puts it together. A person like Mikey, he puts it together. And even though let's be honest, everybody who watches him knows he got more. It's just he doesn't have the opportunity to use it. Adrian has talent, but he doesn't put the talent all together. Mm-hmm. So that's how he can never be a better tactician than somebody. Because that's the difference between him and a lot of great fighters. You know, and you put Mikey in that great fighter because, like Kelly Pavlik said, there is no plan B. And that's the big problem. Your plan A, like, let's use it in this example. Chavez Sr. There was no plan B. But you know why? Because he actually knew how plan A worked. He never was gun shy with his hands. If you got a plan A and you gun shy, you have no plan A. You need to go to plan B. You know? Because if the plan A is to go this, and this, and it'll weigh you down over time, or if you letting your hands go, absolutely. When Adrian Broner fights top flight competition, he never lets his hands go.
And here's the funny thing, right? And this is why it kind of upsets me because I don't give a fuck what fans say. You know, on Twitter and so whatever. I don't give a shit about none of that stuff. Because fans are fans, and fans I expect to be very much tribalistic. But professionals, you kind of expect them to be a little bit professional. And say like a Paulie, right? Paulie would say like he does not let his hands go. Yet he'll tell you if you just throw punches at Broner, he has to reset. And so the people who was like, I don't know if I don't know if Mikey can do it because, you know, they're both counterpunchers. Is Broner really a counterpuncher? Or is he a counterpuncher on a slower, smaller guy? Because anytime anybody's near his size or near his power, he doesn't let his hands go. Why? Because he has to reset. So he didn't have to worry about the counterpunch. So he could actually come forward. He could beat him coming forward or going back. It didn't matter. And once Broner got down and was like, okay, now I'm going to come forward. Well, now you're just going to get picked off a little bit more. It was very easy.
He is a counterpuncher, but us off of one shot. See, if you throw 2-3 at him, he's not a counterpuncher no more. Like, because he doesn't, his defense, he doesn't slip a lot of times, and he can actually catch punches real well when he wants to. But the more you see him fight, he stops catching, he stops slipping, he just stands there, and he puts that high guard up. So if you throw 2 or 3 at him, he gonna high guard, you pop him with one, he gonna shake his head, walk forward. Do it again. You could literally do that to him 30 minutes in a row in a fight, which was the equivalent of 10 rounds, and he won't, and he don't catch on. Damn, wait a minute, I'm not. Like, this is the amount of intelligence and when fighters say, I could just do what I got to do to win. You know, even, this is why, in this way, I look at Mikey the same way I look at Floyd. He did what it's not Mikey's fault that Adrian don't catch on to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is why I said that about this. Was so similar about him. Like, if somebody's kicking your ass doing one particular thing well, they don't have to do nothing else.
Why do they have to change it up?
Right. You too slow to catch on. You know, that's your problem. You go, well, why don't you stop kicking my ass like this and kick my ass like this so I could get into the fight? No. That's your problem. You know, for the fighters, the fighters is being tribal. Like, look at it like this. Even though I know you don't want to talk about this because it's coming up, we're living in a world where it's so tribal. People really think an Irish MMA fighter can beat a black professional fighter who's probably been a champion for at least 18 years over a guy who lost the title, who just came into being a star. Like he's the Ronda Rousey of MMA. Just because I'm down with my team. This is going to be this may be the biggest fight in history. So this is how fucking far gone people are when it comes to being, I can still see some kind of win. Look, and I'm a hater, and everybody at work knows I'm a hater. Boxing fans are motherfucking Dallas Cowboy fans, okay? Every year you're gonna win. Every year is the Super Bowl. Every year you're unstoppable. Every year common sense doesn't fucking matter. Common sense says Mikey's the better fighter.
Yeah. Well, good thing for me. I have blocked all of that on Twitter. I see none of it. I can tell you this: I haven't seen more than 3 seconds, because like if something pops up, I gotta turn it. Of any of the press conferences, I didn't. I know that there was. First of all, it's all a ruse. It's all been planned out. The whole thing is fake. It's not even real. The whole thing is not real. Okay, and I guess on our show, it's never like that. It really isn't tribalistic. You're going to hear real shit. And the one thing that I was proud, especially for the Mexican people, was when Canelo acted like a bitch. Everybody sided with Golovkin. Even professional fighters were talking shit about, no, when you say this, you better do this. Shit needs to add up, needs to back up what you say. So that's why. And this is what, remember when I went into the thing, you're like, yeah, you know what, I guess you're right, because people don't think about it. But yeah, because Mexicans, we will hate on ourselves quick. And we won't hear you because we'll be doing it ourselves. And so I wanted to see some of that, especially with a guy who has let you down enough in a guy like Broner. It's like, it's like, why are you not picking up a dude like a Bradley was never picked up? You know what I mean? Like, that motherfucker should have been picked up, because that is a real fighter who brought it, every fucking thing he had and laid it on the line every time he fought.
See, here's a big difference. A lot of times, just as a group of people, we gravitate to the real deal, but we just watching silently. Most people understand that, because it's like, are we like in love with Adrian Broner as a group? No. Mm-hmm. What it is we understand these two different things. If you're a lunch pail guy, people don't like you because you're a lunch pail guy. This is part of the reason why Ward's got that issue. Crawford's got that issue. Bradley's got that issue, because they're lunch pail guys. Broner is a person who you want to see get his ass kicked. That's his persona. And it sells because, let's be honest, as just in general, people don't pay to see their fighter win. People pay less to see the fighter that they like to win than they pay to see the fighter that they don't like to lose. So it's rare that you can mix two things. That's the Muhammad Ali effect. And he had to learn that shit from a wrestler. The people that like you, they're going to need the people that hate you to show up to create this shit. This is why boxing in general are these political events. I mean, even that same night, when the fight was over, I watched the UFC fight, and John Jones said, fuck it, I'm going to challenge Brock Lesnar. Why would you think that happened? It's because people are all on this, they need the antagonistic fantasy bullshit to draw in the crowd of people who they feel will pay, which is casuals, quote unquote. When it comes to respect, Bradley gets shit. Like, if we was walking in a room, just a bunch of black people walking in the room, Bradley, everybody, what's up, Bradley? Broner, you need to clean that shit up, bro.
Here, I'll tell you how I can explain it from the outside, yet the inside, because we all have this situation. He's part of the family. He's an asshole, but he's my asshole. So when somebody else talks about him outside the family, they feel threatened. But remember, this is where we as boxing fans and even people on doing shows like us need to realize they ain't family. They just acquaintances. So we have to be, and if you're a true friend, you were fucking honest. That's what we've always said. If a friend is honest with you, a friend will tell you, "What you fucking up?"
But we're living in 2017 where you can put a filter on honesty on Instagram and people cool with that shit.
Look, here's what I want. Like we spent most of the show on this. Here's what I put it on. Broner, I don't give a fuck what happens. I will say this: I want this fight to happen. I should happen. And he goes right in line with this guy with the weight, their trajectory of their career, everything. He needs to fight Brandon Rios next. These guys have a long feud. They both can't make weight. They both bullshit outside the ring. But
that would be a great trash talking.
But they're both tough, though. They're both tough, and that's where he's at in his career. As for Garcia, it doesn't matter. It could be Easter. It could be Linares. It could be
just beat Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. It could, yeah. If you want it, you can go get it. Let's be honest. If you really want that fight, you can go get it. It's not that hard.
I'm about to be cold when I say this, but here's the thing. Like Lomachenko, this next fight he about to be in, bullshit. But I'm gonna say this simultaneously about him. You don't fight Rigo. Now, how often is it that an older fighter will jump up 2 weight classes to fight a younger fighter, and that fighter not get called out for that? Not very often. Now, how often is it that same fighter will call out another fighter around his same age, but he will have to go up in a weight class to fight? See, dude, you pushing it right now.
And I called him out on that bullshit.
Right. You put, because you realize, you know, and one thing that I gotta credit Mikey for that I saw after the fight was, he's like, he's not waiting on people. And that lets you know what kind of workman he is. There's other people out here I could fight that's good. I'm not going to waste my life waiting on y'all. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you got to respect that. Broner, you say you'll be champion one day. I said the only way you will be champion again, completely being honest, you need to be the Adrian Broner that won the titles, that was a workman all the time. Once you became a showman, you started being concerned about the show more than the work. And it shows when you fight. You know, that's just my opinion. I want Mikey to whip somebody else's ass. Oh, congratulations on being put up there. It was number 6 in the pound for pound.
I don't know.
I think they put him as 6, 4 or 6.
Well, remember, I had him at 1 as far as one of the best. When we said the best of the best, the technicians. Yeah. And the only thing that separated those 3 guys was we both had the top 3, same top 3. Crawford, Lomachenko, Mikey. For me, he doesn't lose multiple rounds in a row. And he's the only guy who, out of those 3, who hasn't lost. I don't remember last time I saw him lose 2 rounds in a row. I really can't remember it. And that's not even a joke. If you can remember when he lost a couple of rounds together, I mean, honestly. Nope. And I don't give a shit about flash or style, because style-wise and technique-wise, you would say Lomachenko's better, but he actually has lost a couple rounds in a row before, and lost a fight. But let's do this real quick. Jamal Charlo beats Jorge Sebastian Highland, basically the young lion, because that's what he calls himself. Went and got that baby gazelle. When the baby gazelle's born, he's got the little wobbly knees, and he's trying to run from the lion as he gets swallowed up. That's what happened. Not a lot to take from Charlo in this fight, but I still think he's a legit player at 160. He's a threat. He's definitely a threat, and he's got thunder in his hands. He's definitely a threat. I
don't know what's gotten into him and his brother, but they are really trying to punk everybody in sight. And you know what? As long as you keep it in the boxing community, I ain't mad at you. Punk them bitches. You know, Highland, I'm sorry, man, but it wasn't the way you got. Look, it was the way he got hit with old school power, because he got hit so hard he took like a half a step forward and he said, "Oh, wait a minute, this shit hurt." If you don't think his power is legit, get hit by him. How about that? Try that shit. Okay? And when you wake up in heaven, remember you asked for it.
He's Canelo's mandatory now, and no matter what happens, because the WBC belt is not on the line for the Canelo fight. That just came out today.
Can't be. Yeah, it can't be.
Well, he said he was still going to defend it even though Canelo was going to pay the sanction fee for it. He was still, I think Canelo or Triple G wanted to get that defense in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Is the WC belt the one that Canelo gave up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know they wasn't gonna let him get that back.
Jarrell Miller beats Gerald Washington. It is what it is. 8 rounds.
Look. Okay, I predicted an upset. And then I went home and I got online and I saw Gerald Washington get pumped in the press conference by Big Baby. I'm like, oh fuck. Well, you kicked his ass, but you kicked his ass at the press conference first. You don't take, ladies and gentlemen, fighters, people, if you're at a press conference and you're talking on a microphone, it's one thing that normally doesn't happen. Your opponent does not walk up to the podium while you're talking and start talking on the mic. If he does that and you allow that, you just got pumped. Do you realize it's a reason why when the two fighters do the face-off, they're the people in the middle? No, we can't let these people get too close. Do you realize when people are standing at the podium and they got 2 different sides of the table with the podium in the middle, if a person even stands up, somebody, don't do that. Gerald Washington, don't you ever in your fucking life let another person do that. That wasn't about talking at the podium. It was about saying, you know you my bitch, right? Fuck what you got to say. This is my time.
To quote Eddie Murphy in life, you give him that cornbread, you're going to be washing his underwear.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to this weekend. The undercard on ESPN is going to be Ray Beltran, Brian Vasquez. Beltran will be yoked out of his mind. Will be fucking on the gas, heavy. Somehow he's a knockout artist now. Everything is suspect to me. He'll win this fight. But the big one, of course, is Vasyl Lomachenko and Miguel Marriaga. And I've said what I was going to say. I killed this fight, and there's no reason to even try to pretend like this is a good competitive fight. It's a guy coming off a loss at featherweight, moving up to 130, getting a title shot against a guy who has been called out by others, who called out Mikey, who says when you're a champion, your goal should be to be able to fight the best, and this is what you give us, is Miguel Marriaga. Shit just doesn't add up. What you say, your actions need to follow. And this is where we killed Canelo. We've killed Triple G. We've killed so many people over the years. Your actions need to follow up what your words were saying. He didn't. This is just going to be a showcase. And here's the difference. We've seen Marriaga lose twice. Lomachenko will get the most credit because it'll be the biggest and worst beating that Marriaga's taken, and he will get the credit for it. Unlike Mikey Garcia.
He ain't getting shit from me.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, Beltran, it's not a crime unless you get caught.
That's true.
But, yeah, I predict the win, too. As far as Lomachenko, man, look, man. This is one of the major problems with fighters. Was the same thing that was the issue when I was talking about when the PBC first started and these fighters were taking these easy fights. Just because somebody likes you doesn't mean you capitalize on that by giving somebody some bullshit. That's a problem. You don't say, well, you know, I'm going to get paid, the people like me, they're not going to pay attention to this one. Well, okay, this is what needs to happen. You need to beat his ass, and when you're done, since, 1 minute, Rigo had to chase you down, then the next minute, y'all talked and y'all was going to work it, and y'all figure y'all going to fight in the future, and this bullshit fight come up in the mix, and then the next minute, I don't know if they put the talks out like later or whatever, it made it look like he was talking shit about him. So, either you fighting Rigo after this fight or you fighting Mikey after this fight. Because Mikey just finished fighting, so guess what? You can't say, well, we need time to train. Bullshit. Because you ain't going to get are you going to take any kind of punishment in this fight, really? No. So, if you want it that bad, you got 2 great champion options. Now, the minute you pull with the shit you pulled what back in the day that people let slide? Because I still remember when you wanted your title shot out the gate. You got it. Cool. You lost. You dominated Gary Russell. You got all the praise in the world, right? You got your title. Cool. They asked you, did you want to fight Rigo? I ain't ready. See that right there? That was that bullshit that I was like, I respect that you know what's up, but you can't be, in bringing up the parallel, you have that Adrian Broner thing in you too. People just don't call it out. When you know you better than somebody, you talk a lot of shit. When you not necessarily, when you just like, maybe not, you half in and half out on that bullshit. Now, at the end of the day, fight one of them. I don't give a shit who. Fight one of them. Because the fans can't hold, the fans can like you for oh so long. Just, if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. But, don't play this game and then just back out at the last minute. That shit is not going over well. And just one other little miniature thing. You grown as a motherfucker, man. The Ninja Turtle tights and the Iron Man tights. Let that shit go, B. You're dressing like the Russell Westbrook of boxing with this shit. But that's just my thing.
I'm okay with it. If I was okay with Tyson Fury dressed up as Batman, I'm okay with it. Look, he's going to dominate this fight. He's going to use his movement. He's going to be hitting Marriaga from angles, and he's literally going to just pick him apart. Will he get the stoppage? Maybe. I mean, Valdez knocked him down, so there's no reason that Lomachenko can't do it. And there's no reason that he can't, because it's going to be so one-sided that he can't get an accumulation stoppage. It'll be later in the fight, probably around round 10, round 11. I think he's going to get an accumulation stoppage. This fight's never going to be in doubt. And the reason that I hold a guy like Lomachenko to a higher standard, because he held himself to a higher standard. When you come in demanding title fights and demanding that you don't have to put in the work as a professional to get the title fights, you have put yourself in a higher standard that I now will hold you to because you put yourself there. It's no different. It's no different than a Broner. If you put yourself in this category, in this high prey, then I'm holding you to this. There isn't no, the money thing didn't work out, or, I need that tune-up fight, a stay busy fight. You only fight 2 or 3 times a year. Stay busy fights can't be 33 to 50% of your fights in a year. That's just not how it's going to work. It ain't cool. You want to fight 5, 6 times a year and have a stay busy fight? Go right ahead. But when it's twice a year, no.
Either put up or shut up. But I want to go backwards 1 second. It was Jamal that won. Mm-hmm. But Jamel was damn about to get into it with Andre.
Well, they're both still at 54, so they're both
right
in that wheelhouse.
I'm just going to say this. Andre, you might have picked the wrong damn fight. And Charlo's already mad that you backed out of the fight already, a previous fight. So, I like both of y'all, but Andre, you might get fucked up in this one. Just on GP. Just to be perfectly honest. But, for both of you fellas, I mean, I know, I like the animosity, but both of y'all can't be like looking super hard and dressing like the Migos. That shit fucks it up, B. We're gonna have like boxing dressing rules or something, rules of engagement and wardrobe of engagement. Cause all this shit y'all wearing is fucking up the game. You're looking like 90s R&B singers. And I'm talking about between the Jodeci and Drew Hill mix. Like, you're fucking up.
Nobody wants to look like Cisco. Who looked like Cisco was Jezreel Krause. He looked like Cisco. You know what? Maybe I'll get on the Bradley thing. Maybe I'll do like a second little tidbit show. Bradley retires. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a reason why his resume says what it says, no matter what you want to. Because when I put it out, people were trying to start to dissect his career. It's like, that is more of a case of where he stands in history. His resume says he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. What you want to choose to do with the resume, to where you want to put him in overall historically, that's a whole different argument. But if you go through the list of fights in a row where it was Miguel Vasquez, who nobody wanted to fight, to Junior Witter, where he got the title overseas, to fighting a unification with Kendall Holt, beating a prime Devin Alexander undefeated undefeated at the time, Lamont Peterson, Abregu, undefeated at the, all these guys were at the peak. Provodnikov, who really still right now, he's fucking done, and nobody still really does want to fight that guy. Fighting Manning in his prime, he didn't win that fight. I don't think he won that fight. But again, it's not his fault he got that decision. The Marquez fight, he dominated boxing-wise, which people didn't think he could do. Yeah. After fucking Marquez was gassed out of his mind on juiced up, man, like crazy, and still outboxed him. The guy's a Hall of Famer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It just is what it is, man. It's just, people were trying to argue with it. No, you're arguing semantics of his career, but not the resume.
Okay, well, if you want to argue about his career, cool, argue about it. But answer this one question. Name all the motherfuckers better than him. And when you do that, and then you stop at a certain level, go beneath him, and I bet you the people above him and below him are all Hall of Fame fighters. So I don't give a damn which part of the sandwich you put him in. He's in a Hall of Fame sandwich. Like, and a lot of times people like to do this shit because they don't know who a person was at the minute he fought him. Mm-hmm. Oh, who is this name? Motherfucker, you wasn't a boxing fan then, remember? Like, it's unquestionable. Sorry. He's a Hall of Famer, hands down. You got a problem with that? You kiss my ass.
And you don't know shit about boxing.
Thank you very much.
I say that in a while. Let's cut it off there. Like I said, these are going to be a little bit shorter for the next few weeks until we figure out what the hell's going on with our podcast hosting site. I don't know, man. It don't look good.
We're going to have to upload on Zoom.
That's what it was. That's what we can do, man. You can follow the show on Twitter at Cheap Seats Box. You can iTunes, rate and review. You'll be next unofficial sponsor. Follow us on YouTube. The YouTube page, after being on Taylor Tape, it went up. It almost doubled. So, and it's not that. Trust me, that's not that impressive because it wasn't. We're
coming around,
but it's coming around, and they gave us a little push from behind to help us out, and we do appreciate that because they have a good YouTube presence. Email us, cheapseatsboxing@gmail.com. Questions, comments, anything like that. We always get back to you. The 250th episode? Don't know yet because it's done. It's all been spliced together and made loud, but the way, because I can't upload through the thing, I don't know. I can't promise anything. But we will get it up one way or the other, so be on the lookout for that. JP, is there anything else, man?
This is where the fighters fight and the fans commentate.
And we do it just like you from the cheap seats, because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit, peace. Yeah, that's right, there ain't no outro music, sorry guys. Later.